June 1st, 2022 meeting to order. Very, very happy to see all of you. I hope everyone is quite well. I think this is going to be a busy month for us, and some exciting things are there scheduled so we can get out in the community. I know we cannot look at the minutes or vote on those for next until we have the quorum. So I'll just briefly talk about the two items that I have to share. So one is just another update on all of the wonderful narratives that I had both the advanced history majors write. They were already coming in when we met last month, but of course I got the final versions in, and that was from both the public history internships and then the urban history class. Was really quite moving. I actually recorded on Zoom the students speaking about what it meant for them to really learn about the local history of African Americans here. And just, I tried to encourage them to empathize and connect. And it was so meaningful for them. And so now we do have a very beautiful set of, I would consider to be like research notes, and maybe even the beginning of narratives for that official history that we have been called to write. So that our reparations resolution that was passed a year ago in April, we are charged as a committee to write that narrative. And so at least now we have a good amount of work, and I learned a lot along the way with my students. And so I am hoping over the summer to get together with Mr. Flynn and see what we have in our library at Winston-Salem State, and then work with Ms. Linda Dark to see what the African American archives have in terms of documents and pictures that no one has used. So they're not in any of the publications, the city publications, the county publications, or any of the scholarly publications that are out. So I think that we'll be able to enrich some of these wonderful narratives that that the students have produced. And hopefully then I along with anyone from our committee, can work with the city staff to get that official narrative going. So I feel like we accomplished a lot, but I think first and foremost, as you know, Tom really taught me, Mr. Flynn really taught me, that sense of living through the history and connecting to your ancestors, to your elders, walking in their shoes, and just coming to love the elders and how they flourished, how they survived, what made them joyful, how they faced oppression and were successful. So it was just really wonderful. And I'm looking forward to then teaching urban history again next spring in 2023 and working with my wonderful colleague, Dr. Russell Smith, who is our urban geographer and really one of our lead experts and real advocates for our community in terms of spatial justice. So I'm really proud of the students, and I'm so happy I can share their success, and this really empowered their identity as Black citizens. And I think they're inspired to think about what they need to do moving forward, whether it's getting involved in local government or just being there for the elders. So it's been a great success because of that kind of emotional and empathetic connection. And so that's basically it. I'll be working with some of the history majors who have not graduated, but were very active in this research and writing in the spring. So they'll be coming back to work with me in the fall. And a few of them are, very passionate about looking at one particular place, for instance, looking at Happy Hill. And so there will be some more very specialized, kind of very detailed narratives that we should see from the students by December. So that's really all I have to share for this month. Thank you. So, Ms. Wanda,
actually, Chair Villa-Gomez, I put a note in the chat that we did not do roll call.
Oh, I am so sorry.
That's okay.
I'm navigating between two screens.
No problem.
So we need to go back and do roll call.
Yes.
So sorry. So Ms. Duncan, could you please call roll?
No problem. Chair Villa-Gomez?
Present.
Mr. DeRoy?
Present. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Perfect.
Mr. Fulton? Ms. Johnson? Mr. Scales? Ms. Williams?
I'm here.
Okay. And Ms. Wilson? Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Carlin.
And Chair Villa-Gomez, I'll go ahead and provide the updates as you requested a few moments ago. My updates consist of an introduction, firstly, and we are very excited to have a new intern with us, and her name is Mackenzie, and she comes to, well, you know what? I am going to allow Mackenzie to introduce herself to you and tell you who she is, from where she hails, and what she's working on right now and plans to work on with us. Mackenzie?
Hello, everyone. My name is Mackenzie. I'm currently a graduate student at Wake Forest University. I'm studying Spanish interpreting and translation, and I'm interning with the Human Relations and DEI department this summer. Currently, I'm just getting to know the lay of the land. I started a few weeks ago. I've been working on some translations for the department. I'm getting involved with AHI. I'll be there at Juneteenth helping out. Jamie and I spent the morning setting up all the new technology that we got with the grant money. And yes, that's kind of who I am, what I'm working on, and I'm excited to be here and meet you all.
And Mackenzie, could you turn your volume up a little bit, please? And that's okay. And could you share with us where you're from and specifically what you're working on? Because I think Councilmember Scipio would be happy to hear what you've been working on.
Okay. Yeah. So I am from Northern Virginia originally, but I moved down here for school to do my master's. I'm going to go into my second year this fall. And currently I'm working on translations within the Human Relations Department, helping Adolfo and also doing some NDO work. And I'm also getting involved in the AHI, helping Jamie set up the technology for Juneteenth. And
the grant?
Yes. Also, we are looking into a grant for archival projects. I typed up a summary of all the key points, and I'm happy to share that with you all as well. And I think we're trying to figure out right now, it does require a 25% match from the city. So we're trying to figure out if that would work with our budget and if we can even apply for it. But if we can, it seems like a really great match. They're especially interested in archival projects focusing on Black, Indigenous, and people of color, those voices, and ideas related to our nation's founding values and how those ideals are in debate today and continuing on through the present. So if anyone's interested, I do have a Word document that has more information about it and links as well. But that's kind of a brief overview of the potential grant opportunity.
Thank you, Mackenzie. Excellent job. And that grant opportunity came to our attention by way of Councilmember Annette Scipio. So that's why I wanted her to hear what you've been working on. And then that we jumped on it, Councilmember Scipio. We started looking into it immediately just to see what it was all about. So we're trying to see how we can make it work. But I think the capacity for the grant, Mackenzie, was up to 100 and was it 100?
Up to 150. So for example, if it was $100,000 project, the grant would cover 75,000, and us as an applicant would be responsible for 25,000 of that. So it's definitely there to support archival projects, especially digitizing archives and making them accessible to online for online use. So it seems right up this initiative's alley. So hopefully it will work out, but we're going to keep looking into that.
Does that match have to be a cash match, or can it be in kind?
So yes, it can be direct and indirect expenses. And I'm going to consult my notes for in-kind contributions, non-federal third-party contributions, and any income earned directly by the project.
So we can actually use in-kind staff time as part of that match.
Correct.
All right.
Love it, love it, love it.
So we're working the budget just to make sure there's nothing else and no other glitches that we need to consider. But it does look that way, Councilmember Scipio.
Oh, wonderful. That grant's with whom? Or through?
Say that again?
Who's it with?
It's the National Archives and specifically the National Historic Publication and Records Commission.
Great. Wonderful. Go after money. I love going after money. Go after it even if we don't get it. At least we went after it.
Exactly. But thank you, Mackenzie, and thank you, Councilmember Scipio, for bringing that to our attention. And in terms of city staff updates, we've talked about the fact that Mackenzie and Jamie have been working on making sure that we have on-site equipment set up at Juneteenth. And so they've been working hard on that. And I don't know if there's anything else that either of you ladies would want to add. Jamie, did you want to add anything to what you all have been doing with that?
I'll just add that Mackenzie will be she plans on being there the entire duration to support with technology. We are split that day between the Pride Festival and Juneteenth. So Mackenzie and I are working closely on the tutorial, the cheat sheet, so that way she'll also be there to help the committee with that. So nobody's going to be hanging out there on their own wondering what to do. So I'm really grateful for Mackenzie and her stepping up to be there. So.
Yeah, thanks to you both for working so hard on that. And we'll continue working with our IS department. They were not able to be on the call today, but of course we'll work with them as needed too, to make sure that everything is in place and ready to go. So thank you both. With respect to other city staff updates, Frank, did you have anything that you wanted to share?
Not particularly. Speaking of the Juneteenth, Wanda, you're well aware of our plan to piggyback with that on the diversity survey for the fairgrounds. I didn't know if you wanted to mention that to the committee members, just because it is their event, but it's also something that we're going to be doing. But otherwise, I don't have any particular updates right now.
Okay, thanks. And Frank, help me, and I think you're just referring to the fact that the plan is to make sure that there's some kind of an awareness at Juneteenth so that people are directed to complete the survey with respect to entertainment at the fairgrounds.
Yes, so the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds and HRDEI have been collaborating on a survey to ensure that the fairgrounds staff has a good picture of what everybody in Winston-Salem would like to see in the way of events held at the fairgrounds. The full diversity of our population. And so they've created this very simple 1 minute 7 question survey, and there's a handbill for it, a little 5.5 by 8.5 that we're going to have we're going to steal a little corner of a table and stick those out and try to get people to take that survey. Also, we're going to have a little A-frame sign with the QR code. For that matter, the handbill has the QR code too. And so it'll be pretty easy for people to get to the survey. And like I said, it really does take less than a minute. It's a very quick little thing, but they're having good feedback already. They've gotten over 200 surveys turned in, and they just made it public on Friday. So we haven't really started a whole lot of marketing on it yet. So it's the word's getting out there, and that's good. We're happy about that. We thought that Juneteenth was an excellent opportunity to reach a lot of folks.
Thanks, Frank. And we'll certainly make sure that we have a corner of a table or whatever is needed to make sure that information can be disseminated.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. In terms of the next item, I know on the agenda it says the redlining project. That probably should have been removed, but basically, just as a reminder, we did have that display up here over at the Stewart Building in the lobby for the month of April. And I think it was taken down in early May. So that is gone. And I'm not sure exactly where it went. It's a traveling exhibit, but we were happy and fortunate to be able to have that exhibit here for city employees to see and learn from. So that project is done. So we appreciate the AAHI support on that. And that's it for the city updates and directors updates. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wanda. Could you please remind us when the opening day is that we were talking about for the, I can't remember the actual name of the place, but is it the Winston-Salem Lakes that there's going to be?
The Black Theater Festival?
No, we were going to break ground again for the renovations at one of the parks.
Oh, Winston Lake Park opening
Yes.
this Saturday.
So it's this week.
Yes, this Saturday coming up at 9:30 is the ribbon cutting.
Okay, great. So I know we had discussed last month and maybe even the month before that, at least some of us would try to be present there, and we might possibly set up to do some oral histories.
Right.
Is that still a possibility? So will we be able to?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we could get some of our city technical folks out there to assist?
I don't know about that because it's a little short on turnaround time.
Okay.
And I hesitate, especially in terms of my staff, to say that because today's already Wednesday.
Okay.
And so, and I, of course, IS is not on the call, so I certainly can't speak for them.
I mean, Mr. Flynn is here. I don't know if he would be able to bring Winston-Salem State equipment.
We would fall in the same kind of realm with the turnaround. Just getting staff available for that on short notice.
Thank you, Tom.
Yep.
Well, would we at least be able to have a booth, or if we want to have a presence there and really connect, what would be our ideas for doing that? So we could really maximize our time and our, our opportunity to connect with the public. Any ideas? Or should as many of us as possible show up and be ready to mingle and just connect? So I'll definitely be there.
I will not be in town this weekend, Chair Villagomez, so I will be unable to be there.
Thank you. And Councilperson Scipio, you will be there, correct?
I will be there at the ribbon cutting. I will be there. We have two events. We have the Flight Festival that starts at 11:30. The ribbon cutting will start at 9:30, and I'll be there until little before after 11. So I could, no. I'll be there to about 11:15 to go to the Flight Festival. So
okay,
maybe sooner, depending on how many people come for the ribbon cutting. But I'm curious that Wanda, your staff is bringing the recording equipment, and were the committee members supposed to do the interviewing of anybody who wanted to share their memories of Winston Lake Park? Is that what was discussed?
Councilmember Scipio, I don't recall that being something that everybody committed to doing. I know that we talked about the ribbon cutting, but I don't recall that in particular. However, we can perhaps have equipment dropped off there for committee members to use if they want to do that for the oral history. And Sabrina, I saw your note in chat. You said that it was advertised that there would be oral histories collected. Is that what you said?
Yes, I know it's on the flyers that have gone out, and I think I heard it because ABC 45 mistakenly said that the reopening was yesterday, and they mentioned it on the news, but I do know it's on the flyers that have gone out as well.
Okay, I think the easiest thing to do would be to have voice recorders available for the committee members who may want to collect those oral histories to do so. That would be the simplest thing to do, especially since staff won't be on site. And most people probably could maneuver those voice recorders pretty easily, I would think.
Yes. Wanda, I'm a little confused. What is your intern getting equipment ready for?
We were talking about Juneteenth.
Oh, that was for Juneteenth.
Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
I misunderstood that.
Okay.
And
see, I thought we were talking about Juneteenth for the oral histories all along, even prior to today. I wasn't thinking about it specifically for the Salem Lake ribbon cutting.
The Winston Lake.
Yeah,
Winston
so
Lake.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I know that was discussed at the last meeting. That's why it was put on the flyers, because there was a agreement that the committee members would come and do that for Winston Lake. It was another opportunity. So, so you're saying we do have some equipment that we can collect some histories with, right?
Yes, we can make the voice recorders definitely available, Councilmember Scipio. Yes.
But not the video recorders? No video? Because I would be willing to man some of that. And if Dr. Villagomez comes, the two of us could probably do that. And I don't know if anybody else is planning to come to the ribbon cutting.
Okay.
But we certainly could do that.
Sure. Yeah, I don't think that would be a problem at all. The only concern we would have is that somebody, be responsible for the equipment that we know. And of course, the two of you can't get any better than that. So I think that we can certainly drop that off or get it to you, or whatever way you think is best. Work with Sabrina to get it to you, whatever we need to do. We can make it happen.
Well, if we can make that happen, then I think I'll be happy to be able to do that. We don't have a program at our flight festival, so I don't have to be there exactly at 11, but I just need a parking space. That was my only concern. But I don't know how many people are going to come to the ribbon cutting and be willing to give us some interviews, but I'd be more than happy to collect them. If any of our other committee members would like to come and do that, you know, we would be there. I would not like to miss an opportunity if we can do that. Mhm.
Right, that makes perfectly good sense. And I saw that Ms. Williams said that she could help Councilmember Scipio and Chair Villa-Gomez.
Oh, good.
That's wonderful.
She said in the chat, let her know how she can help.
I'll just show up and we'll just start trying to get people to tell their stories.
Yeah.
You know, most of the things about oral histories and with our people is that oftentimes they don't think they have anything worthy of sharing. And just whatever they did is what is worthy. And when you get people talking, they start remembering things. And that's what we're trying to document. Not the big wow things, but the simple things. Why were you at this park? What did you do when you came to the park? Looking at where it is today compared to where it was then, we have very little at that park, even though it was the only park we could go to. It had a picnic table up on the knoll. But people had a whole lot of fun over there. I think they may have had a swing or two too. But who came? So I think we could, we won't miss the opportunity if we can get the equipment from you, your office, probably on Friday.
Yes, and if you or Sabrina, if either of you is in the building today, we can even get it to you today. We're here in the building today, so.
Well, I'm here today. You want me to I don't want to bring it to my office.
You don't want to be in your office?
No, because let me see where I could hide it. Is anybody going to be there on Friday?
Yes.
I think so. That would also give us some time to work on the cheat sheet so that how exactly, we'll need everybody as they start the recording to say their name, and they're going to have to fill out the paper that goes along with our submission to Digital NC. So, so we'll work on making sure we have a good cheat sheet for how it needs to be done and all the papers for them to fill out. And then all you'll have to do is push record, stop the record, and we'll do the rest when we get it back on Monday. So.
Thank you, Jamie. I know you got make it simple for older people. Technology has to be easy. But I would love to. I don't have an issue doing it. And regrettably, my wonderful Sabrina is going to be on vacation. She will not be there to have this wonderful experience that she can talk about later. But there will be other opportunities, Sabrina. Don't think that you won't have the chance to do this. So, but we'll make this work.
I'll be
that sounds good. Yeah, Sabrina, I'm lucky you. Enjoy your vacation.
Thank you.
And Frank, is it okay if we run the cheat sheet by you? We want to make sure that the messaging is clear and concise.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Frank. So thank you, Jamie. Thank you for jumping in on that.
And one of the things that we want to also do is perhaps use the video as making a historic record of that event. Although we have the media from Frank's group when they record the ribbon cutting, that would be one thing. But to see the people in the audience, it's just another thing of documenting what's happened, where it happened, and who was there. So I think it would be a wonderful thing to do. Okay. Because there are other things going on that day at the ribbon cutting. The Sportsman's Club is going to be teaching people to fish. And again, recording, getting their history is important too. So hopefully I'll be able to get interviews with some of them talking about the history of the Sportsman's Club as an organization.
Well, I'm really looking forward to Saturday. So I apologize that I didn't send out reminders. I was so busy in May with our finals and everything, and then starting summer school. So I apologize for that, but I will be there. So I think if Councilperson Scipio and myself and Miss Beverly are there, I think that it'll be a nice dress rehearsal and it will be a happy event. And so hopefully we can inspire people to tell some really good stories.
Thank
So,
you.
thank you. So I don't have anything else to share except to say that I'm looking forward to Juneteenth. So hopefully many of us will be there. I plan to be there from early on all day. And oh, and I should say, Council Member Scipio, I'll make sure to come early Saturday so I can see you early before everything gets going. But I do want to put out another invitation. I believe last month I informed the committee that I've been invited by the city of Boone, well, actually by their library, to come and speak to them on June 14th. They have a whole week-long Juneteenth set of celebrations and activities. So I'm really seeing that I'm going as a representative of our committee and what we are doing in our community. I'm going to have to do some homework and find out. I did some research on the African American community in Boone and found some interesting families, but I don't know a whole lot yet about the history of Juneteenth there. But I want to go and just encourage them to try to do for their own city what we have done. And so if anyone would like to drive with me to Boone and meet the community members and the librarians and the archivists, there will be at least one public historian there that's collecting oral histories. I would love to have you come with me. But I really just see myself as going as our representative, and hopefully we can encourage other people to do what we're doing. So that is the last thing that I have to share.
What date was that, Dr. Villagomez?
Yes, Councilperson Scipio, it is on June 14th, and I don't recall what day that is, but I know that my talk at the library will be at 7 p.m.
Oh, that's a Tuesday.
Okay. Thank you.
And regrettably, I have council committees on that day that I have to be present at. So I won't be able to go. You know, I like a good field trip, but I'm sorry.
Well, I will make sure that I send greetings from you and our committee. And then when we come back together in August, I will give everyone an update. Well, I'll see you at our Juneteenth, but yeah. I think it's wonderful that we can advocate for other cities, and we're continuing to really show what a wonderful project this is. And I believe we are still the only city that we know that there are similar projects, but I don't believe any other city has passed the resolutions and formed a committee like this. So I'm proud of us. So I think that is all, unless anyone else has any updates or questions. I think there might be something in the chat. Okay, nothing new in the chat. I think a few other people have indicated some support, I believe, for Saturday. So if no one has questions or anything to share, then could I have a motion for us to adjourn?
No voting, remember?
Oh, no
No voting.
voting. That's right. I'm so, I need to get these rules down.
You're
Miss
fine.
Wanda,
Yes, ma'am.
can there be an inquiry of the committee members that they would not have a July meeting? It can be canceled.
Yes, I will ask Carlin to send an email to the committee regarding that.
Yeah, so that, yeah, I think that would be a thing that we probably should just go ahead and not do the July meetings, particularly since the committee's going to be working Juneteenth, that Saturday in June. And other committees in the city are canceling for July, since the council doesn't meet in July. So I think that would be something we should do.
Okay, we'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you for that reminder. I know I was supposed to announce that. Thank you. Well, I look forward to seeing hopefully everyone on Juneteenth. So please take good care. And I will reach out to Councilperson Scipio and Ms. Wanda soon.
Thank you, my dear.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Please take good care.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank
Bye.
you.